to serve first. Right away, goes big on the serve.
We're going to see the ball fly here quite a bit, I think, especially in the early rounds as people get used to it. The lifetime ball flies, and we're in colder conditions.
Side out.
It's a good setup, though.
In what ways?
And big serve, short ball. You can't really ask much more for that besides making the approach shot.
0-1.
Oh.
Side out.
But there you have a display of Campbell's power and net control. She likes to come in, and she has pretty natural power.
1-0.
Both these ladies have power.
Yeah. Well, that seems to be the trend these days, as you mentioned. But in singles, it's always an interesting evolution, talking about closing to the net, staying back at the baseline. You obviously are a great closer yourself. Where do you think the advantage lies in today's game? Baseline or at the net?
I think you have to be an all-court player. All the best players are really all-court. For me, I've had to really improve myself on the backcourt. I think you've seen me in recent years. I'm a lot more comfortable there. And someone like, Anna Lee and Paris Todd have really improved themselves in the front court.
Point.
Great depth there again from Campbell. Winner of this one will face Zoe Wong in the round of 32.
2-1. Side out.
Ooh, just missed.
And you could potentially have a meeting with Helena Fink in the round of 16.
Correct. I am not a draw looker,
yeah,
but a lot of people have told me about that one. It's a much anticipated one.
Cailyn Campbell wielding the angles to set up the close. Ball back on her side.
Yeah, she does a really good job at taking her forehand off the sideline, not really making Allison Phillips move forward, which is not natural to the female mover.
2-1.
Dive into that forehand off the sideline concept after this point.
That's a good pass to a roll.
So what do you mean by that, taking the forehand off the sideline?
So the level right now is so good at the baseline that you really want to start using all angles of the court, just because you can move your opponent way off and give yourself bigger angles rather than just trying to hit through them. So Cailyn really likes to go through the sideline instead of the baseline off her forehand side, which is it's a pretty high level shot.
Point.
Looks like that one just missed.
When she got that marquee win over Mary Brasha at Red Rock, she said it was nice to finally get some of the credit in the Campbell family. Cailyn Campbell, her older brother, who often gets a lot of love in their households.
The older brother, yeah. Kind of sounds like Georgia and J-Dub a few years ago.
Ooh, big backhand load up for Campbell. Surrenders it back to Allison Phillips.
Phillips has had a lot of good looks. Just kind of about executing those short balls and getting in.
She goes.
Yeah. That's the formula to singles at home. If you're looking to get good, big serve, get a short return, get to the net. That's the formula. Easier said than done.
What's the most interesting part of singles for you as you watch it? Like, what are you looking for after this point? That's deep. Like, as a fan, as a player, what do you find interesting from afar?
I think it's interesting. Like, I can pick out what I think what a good player is going to be. Like, I can tell Cailyn's going to be a pretty good player because she's good off of both sides. And nowadays in singles, you need to be good off of both sides. You need to be a good mover. You need to have power. You need to be able to get to the net. So I always think it's interesting when the new people come in. How she sailed quite a few returns, though. That does need to get fixed. How they
5-4.
They're going to end up developing. Whoa. I mean, I think we have a little bit of a tailwind, but you can see right there, a lot of power, not a lot of shape. And so the ball's kind of sailing right now in the morning crisp air.
6-4.
Course, Campbell based out of South Florida, so not as used to the dryness as Allison
Great
Phillips
shot.
rips one. Based out of Utah, definitely a difference in training atmospheres as well.
Yeah, this weather is probably a little bit more noticeable, or like Allison Phillips is a little bit more used to this, I would say. And no timeout by Campbell. That's the youth there. What a volley.
Side
Nice.
out.
What'd you like about that volley?
It's just really good. Like,
Yeah.
she really stuck it. She has a lot of power. She's not fooled very much at the net, and she has a good presence there. I just think more so for her in this next coming year, it's going to be about shaping the ball and controlling the shots.
4-7.
That's a good ball right there, and that she took some pace off and she dipped it low.
When it comes to developing that
Timeout
shape.
receiver. 5-7.
Yes.
Ooh, timeout by the
Phillips,
receiver.
yeah, we'll be calling a timeout here in the action, and we will take a quick break as well. More to come from Southern California in the round of 64. In the score line here, down 2 to
5-7.
Allison Phillips.
It was kind of interesting because Phillips went on a big run, and Campbell chose not to call a
6-7.
timeout, and then she scored 1 point, and Phillips immediately called a timeout. If I'm Cailyn, I'm thinking, like, that's good for me. She doesn't feel comfortable with this lead. She's had
Side
some good
out.
looks, just really oversailed them. You know, Michelle, she really reminds me of a young Georgia Johnson.
Really?
And their technique is a little bit untraditional.
7-6.
Their power is pretty good. They're growing into their bodies, but they have a lot of strength, and she's just going to keep getting more and more physical. Ooh, that's
Side out.
unlucky. Like Georgia has over the last couple of years. Georgia's movement this year has really propelled her.
Yeah, she's been looking fantastic in every single event, including Major League Pickleball. And speaking of that, Cailyn Campbell got picked up by the
6-7.
St. Louis Shock on the waiver wire recently.
Oh, there we go.
Big opportunity for her to train with the best.
Anna Bright's a good person to learn from.
Point.
She's having a lot of success moving Phillips to that forehand corner. If I'm her, I'm serving this ball out wide, and the first ball is running her to that corner.
Love that. So serve to the
7-7.
Serve to the backhand, take the first ball to the
with it.
forehand.
Got it.
See if she does it. There. Forehand.
Went back
Oh,
to the
she-
backhand.
She got
Gonna
away with it.
break off the tape though. She'll take it.
Game of runs.
8-7.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really good dip. That was just really good paddle skills by Campbell there.
Take another look at that one if we can. Would love to see that one run back. Yeah, what did you see here, Leia?
9-7.
Never mind.
Side out.
All right. And Phillips has to move here right now. She hasn't scored since she was up 7-4. She's got a
7-9.
freebie. She's got to take this and get into the net. You got to get in.
There she goes. And another winner, though,
Right out.
from Cailyn Campbell to get it right back.
Yeah, if I'm Phillips, I'm testing out that forehand corner right now. She really likes that backhand dip. And, you know, when I hit with her the last summer, that was one of the first things I noticed.
9-7.
She can dip the ball naturally very well off of both sides.
Well, to your point about Georgia Johnson similarities. Goes for the forehand. It's deep, though. And how about this? How the youth movement in the female game can continue to evolve. Big serve. Phillips gets up to the net.
It's a great play there going to the forehand side. I think Campbell's really proved her backhand is the much preferred side, or at least it is right now. I know she can get hot on that forehand as well.
7-10.
See, I think on
Side
that
out.
first ball, especially since you're down, you're going to have to take some risk and at least make her run to the open court or go into the open court. She hit it back to Cailyn's better shot, and then she was able to take the net.
Game point returns to Cailyn Campbell.
Side out.
And we'll see if Allison Phillips can get off of 7 here.
Right.
How frustrating is it when you get stuck on that stubborn number? We've all been there.
7-10.
Goes heavy to the backhand corner twice, and it pays off for Phillips. She's off of 7.
Just as long as you get into the net. I say it all the time. Under pressure situations, being at the net is better than someone hitting a passing shot. Unless you're Anna Lee or like Kate or Paris. But besides those 3, I would say most should just get to the net.
Okay.
Side out.
Do you think that will shift as the play continues to rise?
No, because I think Kate, Paris, and Anna Lee have proved it that they like to go to the net at bigger moments too, just because you're going to have to play a more aggressive game style in singles as well.
Game point number 3 here for Cailyn Campbell.
That's a great shot. Is she there?
Oh,
no.
Dropped off the tape again.
There's a backhand roll again. Phillips did a great job. And I want to maybe challenge that for, did the paddle hit it? Paddle could have hit that. Doesn't matter.
It's close.
Side out.
Ball right back to Campbell. Game point number 4, trying to close out Allison Phillips.
Game point. 10-8.
And there it is. Game 1 lands on the side of Cailyn.
It's easier said than done because you want to just say play aggressive and get to the net. If I took a tally, I would think Cailyn has been to the net
Side out.
quite a bit more than Phillips. So I would really just advise her, like even on that ball she missed wide, she didn't get up to it. She wasn't being aggressive and hesitant. Just go for it and really power that forehand corner and make them hit a winner.
0-1. Side out.
Phillips was in command for most of game 1.
I would also say she's standing up a little high.
Okay.
And I notice this because when I miss, I stand up too high because I'm about Allison Phillips' height. And being tall is not great sometimes.
Is that a bending knee of the knee situation?
Yeah, just
loading
gotta
up properly.
You got to get low.
Yeah.
And you see it right there, too. She's just not getting low on the ball. And that's where everyone at home, if you are an aspiring pro pickleball player, you better be getting in the gym first and working on those fundamentals in the gym before you want to step out
2-0.
here.
Point.
You know, back, gosh, this was like 5-6 years ago now. I saw this little girl and her mom doing some cone drills.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, who is this? Like, just making fun of junior tennis. And it was Anna Lee and Lee. And then they hopped on the court, and they were doing very specific warm-up drills. And that was the first day I saw, like, like, they have to take a day off. They don't know anything.
Yep. Especially with this schedule nowadays. Cailyn Campbell loading up at 3-0 here in game 2. Nice.
That's a good shot. You saw in that timeout that Phillips was just kind of closing her eyes and trying to, find a meditation state.
Yeah. I mean, so much of this, especially in singles, as you know, is a mental game.
Nice shot.
Ooh.
Side out.
But she came up with 3 great shots there. Just keep doing that. You can't get mad at yourself there.
3-0.
Yeah.
Point.
You can just see the natural ball striking and power, though.
From Cailyn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that comparison to Georgia Johnson. I'm sure she looks up to her in some capacity,
4-0.
training in the same area.
For sure. Every junior player should look up to her and Anna Lee.
Point.
And one of the biggest things that kind of stuck out to me about Cailyn last year when I practiced with her was she works extremely hard, like extremely hard. And she would just get thrown on the track and run at really like it was pretty
5-0.
unnecessary what someone was making her do. And she did it, even though it wasn't helping her, with no complaints. And I remember thinking, this girl's going to be good. She was very tough.
Yeah.
Six zero. Side out.
In the forehand box again. 6-0 lead to show for it. Allison Phillips needs to find something here.
I think right now you just got to go for broke.
0-6.
Serve and get in.
Got a big serve. You called it. On the board.
1-6.
Michelle, with commentating over the years, what's the biggest difference you've seen in the evolution? You've been around for a while now watching.
Yeah,
Side out.
it's kind of wild to have seen the game grow. I mean, the most fascinating part to me is the youth movement. I haven't seen it as much on the female side as the male side at the moment, but I think just the pace of play. It used to be you kind of knew who was going to win week in, week out. Now it's getting to those round of 16s and quarterfinal rounds, especially men's singles and some of these doubles rounds. It is up for grabs.
I think it's like the length of the rallies now. Even in singles, it's 6, 7 balls, and doubles, as you know, it's even longer.
Yeah.
I like the slice, changing up the pace.
Point.
Some more raw power from Campbell's side. Make it 8-1 for the 15-year-old.
If I were Allison Phillips' coach, and if she goes back and watches this, my biggest advice is to lower your center of gravity and really just focus on getting to the ball. It's not about the stroke. It's not about anything else. It's just kind of about those fundamentals. When she's in good position, just like right there, I mean, that was a good look. But when she's out of position, that's when she's missing it and losing control of the ball. That one was even a little closer now that I look at it. Wow, what I get.
Nice. Point. 3 times to almost the same spot. Game points, match point for Cailyn Campbell.
Great kitchen command right there.
Match point. 10-1. Side out.
Miss serve from Campbell. Allison Phillips hanging on by a thread in this one.
110.
Miss serve right back. Match point number 2 for Cailyn Campbell. Knocking on the door to a round of 32 appearance with
Match
Zoe
point.
Wong.
10-1.
Ooh.
Side out.
Juicy opportunity. Allison Phillips fights off another.
She kind of comes to the net pretty relentlessly.
Yeah.
Though.
110.
I think right now some of the top girls will definitely be able to pass her, but as she continues to develop this style of play, it's going to bode well for her.
Especially with the length she has too on her side.
Yeah, and I would imagine she's playing for down the road, and she's really just trying to develop this year, and that's really, I think she's going to continue to develop into a really good singles player because of that.
Well, that's the most fun part to watch for me when you see these young and up-and-comers and how they... Ooh, a baseline battle. Cailyn Campbell trying to get up to the kitchen, instead chokes up pinned to the net. Allison Phillips fights off 3 match points.
We saw in the timeout, Phillips had quite a bit of frustration and just didn't even want to talk, which I can relate to. It's a good overhead.
Side out.
How do you manage frustrations nowadays? Easier said than done when you're on court and the match isn't going the way that you want it.
Everyone has tools, so, you know, the popular one seems to be like people believe in sports psychologists. I don't. I believe in, like, neuroplasticity.
Okay.
But everyone has their method, and you got to work at it.
Point number 4 here for Campbell. Just back. Campbell looking for a moment.
You can't appeal, you can challenge.
I think she will.
She's going to challenge?
Yeah.
Referee timeout. We have a challenge.
Live, I thought I saw it deep, but we'll take a closer look when we have it.
Hard to call, yeah. She was right on top of that.
There's Mary Namey to confirm.
After review, the call on court is overturned. The ball was in. The result
There
of
we
the
go.
rally is point game match 11-1.
All right, big congratulations in order. Cailyn Campbell moving on to the round of 32. The next task ahead is Zoe Wong, where she will be tested. That would be a phenomenal win if she can get there. We'll profile
Jimmy, what's going on?
the informant.
Game
All
1,
right.
time in. 0-0. Side out.
First ever meeting between these two on the PPA Tour in singles.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of interesting to think.
These are
considering-
two of the older well, not older in age, but Zane, I believe, has been playing since 2015 or something, and Tyler is maybe around that same time.
Yeah.
So 10 years
1-0.
each. It's pretty. Not very many can have that much experience.
Nice volley
Point.
from Tyler Loom.
Two 0.
Nice ball.
Side out.
Creativity on full display with a player like Zane Navratil.
Good. 0-2. Side out.
I'm definitely hoping for a little bit of banter back in court. Yeah,
2-0.
banter back in court for this one.
Yeah.
I know Zane likes to seem like the good boy,
Side
but
out.
he definitely, when someone brings some stuff out on the court, will counter back. And actually, Tyler Loom can get pretty testy out there. I like it when Tyler does. I know some people don't think his
0-2.
chirp game's all that great, and it definitely does need improving, but I love that he participates.
Point.
Navratil hits the scoreboard. If you could create an All-American chirp team, I'd love to know who your top contenders
1-2.
would be.
It
Take
would.
some time to think about it if you need it.
Point.
It's definitely Matt Wright, Jeff Warnick, Johnny
2-2.
Goldberg.
Love it. Nice get.
You know, one that's kind of shocking, but should
Point.
be on everybody's all-mention team. There's one girl who's on my all trash talk team.
Fahey?
No, Fahey just screams.
3-2.
She's not much of a, Anna Lee will trash talk. And she's
Oh.
got some good stuff. She's got
Nice.
some stuff to me where I'm like, and then I lost it, and it worked. So she's good. Anna Lee is the only one who I would really put on the all trash talk team. And I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I really have a high amount of respect for it. And it's the reason why
4-2.
I don't try and pick fights with her on the court. If I do, I lose.
Nice
Point.
ball again, twice in a row for Zane Navratil. Taking hold of game 1, 5-2 after trailing 2-0 to start.
5-2.
Zane Navratil also has a very informative platform on YouTube, teaches the game at a high level.
Ooh,
Side out.
high level.
Yeah. Whoops.
That is the commentator's jinx. It's great backhand drive to set that up. You can see that Zane really gets a lot of heavy spin on that backhand.
2-5.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to that side, but that
Point.
works. And you can see Zane's
3-5.
definitely gonna stay back just because of his size. He was never one to come to the net a ton out of all the top
Point.
singles guys, but especially nowadays.
4-5.
Oh,
Point.
jeez. That's a great return. Tyler's definitely putting more on his serve these days. I've not watched him play singles lately. But it used to be very pathetic. Now it's got something on it.
Yeah, well, he's talked about that too, of how variety in his eyes trumps redlining every single serve. Being able to mix it up, mix up your spots, mix up your pacing.
5-5.
Definitely.
Mix up your speeds.
Paris Todd does that so well on the women's side.
Yeah, she does.
Yes, you can.
And
okay, we're calling it good and challenging.
Referee timeout. We have a
Zane
challenge
said it
of
was
the
good.
in-ruling. The in-ruling
All my
puts
shots.
I think it was good too.
All my shots are good too, if you ask me though. Do like it. It takes away those match ending out of challenges
After
stuff
review, the
too.
result of the rally stands. The ball was in. Last of a free challenge. No free challenges remaining. One free challenge remaining. We'll resume play at .65. Time in. 6-5.
wow.
Point.
Throttles it. Navratil.
It's just
a 2-point cushion.
Not a smart return to go cross court short and then try and follow it in.
7-5.
Oh.
Point.
I mean, when in doubt, just go for the bag, honestly. I would have ran away from that, so.
Credit
8-5.
to Tyler Loom for hanging in the fire. Wow.
Point.
Out of the air.
Money.
And a whip from Zane Navratil, taking full control. 9-5, 2 points. And game one is in his pocket.
9-5. Point.
I mean, Zane's backhand is pretty unbelievable right now.
I think this guy could get back to the podium.
Yeah, he's got the skills to, but I don't think he will because he said he will never get back to the podium.
I don't know if that was exactly his words, but he's definitely.
He made a good run in Atlanta, and then he went 3 with Crump. Like that's, I mean, he still is nobody you want to see.
Let's go back. Winner of this one
Game 2, time
will
in.
face Rafael Leonard.
0-0.
Zane Navratil, excuse me. Myself, Zane Ford, also in the mix here somewhere.
Too many Zanes.
1-0.
Zane Ford did get a win to the round of 32, by the way. We'll face James Ignatowicz in the next round. Just wanted to give him some love. Nice ball by Tyler Loom for point.
Two 0. Side out. Zero 2.
Zane's drive and crash at Tyler's backhand volley is just paying a lot of dividends right now.
And just doing some due diligence on Rafael Leonard, by the way. He was a former college tennis player. And
1-2.
Signed with Selkirk.
Ooh. What a shot.
Point. Referee timeout. We have a challenge of the in ruling. The in ruling puts us at .22. We'll now proceed to video review.
Yeah, so Loom willing to potentially face losing another challenge. Onisha.
After review, the result of the rally stands. The ball was in. Challenge is lost. No free challenges remaining. One free challenge remaining. Resume play at .22.
Yeah, Zane's backhand right now is on fire, and he's just driving and crashing at Tyler's backhand volley. Might want to change out that return area. Nope. That is just dippy. It's just dippy. Yeah, I've watched Zane in singles for years, and I really do think, and obviously his forehand is by no means a gimme. It's kind of like just going to my backhand. By no means will you just win the point. It's serviceable, but his backhand is so dangerous. You have to get him moving outright to his forehand where he's not set.
Side out.
Because that is the first backhand I can remember him missing in recent memory, and that seems to be the return spot every single time. But like I said, I think Tyler Loong's just out here hitting balls.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much strategy going on for him in singles. Definitely different in doubles, but in singles, I think he's just hitting some serves and drives.
Side out. Four, 2. Side out.
Oh.
Check out these guys in
Look
the
at those
house. Look at the
shirts.
hats. Pickle
2,
plus
4.
ball. Love to see it. What did the shirt say? Team something.
Side out.
I'm assuming teammates. Okay, let's see. Battle of the Paddle. That's awesome.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
They are winning
4-2.
their tournament today.
I love it. Let's go find him and cheer him on. Nice. Depth for Loong. Spinorama. Navratil there. And Loong survives it.
Wide open court right there for Zane.
Christian Elshon, by the way, we panned over to him on SC1.
2-4.
13-11. He took game 1. Jordan Chrysostom.
Side out.
Oh, so close. But now it's 7-0 in the
That's
second.
usually what
4-2.
happens.
Yeah.
Point.
It's bad bounce. He's got it.
Grayson Golden just punched his ticket through to the round of 32, taking out John
5-2.
Sincola. Again, get that Pickleball TV app so you can watch the world's best compete in action here. Nice sequence
Point.
for Zane Navratil. He's got a
some
fan
fun.
base behind his bench, chirping them too.
Some guy named Vinny.
I was just gonna say, a man named Vinny.
6-2.
Who is not Vinny Brasha, so.
Side out. Two, 6. Point.
A
Good
beauty.
drive.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy to think Christian Elshon, with the way he was winning earlier this season, still on the outside looking in.
Took the whole
9-6
second
right
half of the
now.
year off.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the second half of the year. I don't have any points to defend. It's free money. I'm sure that's the way Christian is thinking,
Yeah.
too.
Side out.
It's going to be a tough one for Kate, Brooke, and Cailyn, though.
Christian Elshon, 250 points behind Dylan Frazier right now in the rankings across the board.
Baby Dill. He's a sneaky good
6-3.
singles player, and he doesn't get mentioned up there very often. Very good at all three disciplines.
Side out.
Quick side out for Tyler Loong, meanwhile.
Three, 6.
Oh, wow.
Side out.
Navratil earns it from the transition area on his way up. Take another look. What a shot from Zane Navratil, the backhand cooking.
6-3. Point.
And another. Make it 7-3. Navratil 4 points away from a date with the underdog of the draw and the man that upset Ben Johns.
7-3.
Rafa Leonard, Cal Poly tennis product. Big move out of the air. Zane Navratil pounces. Must be some more weight behind this one, given the MLP results from a couple of weeks ago, I would imagine.
8-3.
Yeah, it just kind of shows, you know, dream breakers aren't everything.
Yeah. 4-point sample size. Anything can happen. Hence the point of it. Wow. Another beautiful pass, and both sides of his body working right now for Zane Navratil.
Yeah, when he's set on his forehand, it's dangerous.
So shifty. Holds it.
9-3. Side out. 3-9.
There we go. That works. It works, Michelle. I think we should try that pattern out.
Four, 9. Side out.
You can tell a lot by the walk in between points, how they're just feeling in life in general.
9-4.
Kicking the ball and kind of trudging back doesn't show a lot of belief.
Point.
I think he would have definitely challenged that one had he not lost the other ones.
Right, so that's the risk you take in challenging so early
Match
in a
point.
game, especially in a ball that was a couple inches in. You have to wonder about that. Match point quickly here for Zane Navratil.
I'm not sure.
And Loong is being informed of his options.
I'm sorry, I don't get guys here.
After review, the in ruling is overturned. The ball was out.
Okay.
No
Good for
challenge
you,
lost.
Zane.
No challenges remaining. One free challenge remaining. We'll resume play at side out.
So it was Tyler that
4-9.
challenged.
Yeah, but he was going to the other side. I
Right.
think Zane was like, let's really make sure if this one was
Time
in
in.
or not. He didn't want that match point.
4-9.
See if this could change anything. Nope.
Nice.
Yeah.
Full angle. He was
Side
wrong in
out.
his assessment, though, saying the dot would be green and the ball would be out, at least.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that was pretty close.
Got mixed doubles coming up next. Round of 64 action. Kate Fahey and Noe Cliff. It's going to be a fun
9-4.
one.
Side out.
Oh, okay. So I just got this sent to me by Thomas Shields from the Dink. This is on
4-9.
Twitter, but these two OG pros, which we did talk about, they are very OG. And podcast hosts, whoever wins this gets to go on the Others podcast and deliver a 10-minute
Side out.
10-minute monologue.
That's awesome.
And look at this. This is the #1 and #2 podcast in all of pickleball.
I love it.
9-4. Point.
Slippery from Zane Navratil.
I'm not.
Match point.
I'm curious to see what Zane will choose for his monologue.
10-4.
No shortage of words
Side out.
here between either players,
I
but
think he
especially
just
for
did a
Zane
spin
Navratil.
serve. Did he just do a spin serve?
4-10.
He did a spin serve.
Thought I saw it.
Yeah, he totally did a spin serve.
Nice deep return for Navratil. Doesn't matter. Heavy drive from Loong. Trying to battle his way to the monologue of the century. Battle of the pods.
5-10.
Nice.
Side out.
Wish we had a chance to interview Zane after this one
Match
to give
point.
a little
Like preemptive,
taste
yeah.
of what we might be hearing. Match point returns to
10-5.
Team The Dink. Nice
Point
cross-court
game
winner
match, 11-5.
for Zane Navratil. Consider it done. 10-minute monologue
Tune
on
in.
the King of the Courts. Is that what we can be expecting on the Others podcast? Hopefully there's a